Hello everyone and welcome back, or welcome if you're new here. My name is Matt. I want to share with you 5 really easy low maintenance plants that are very drought tolerant. These are plants that don't mind drying out at all, and even if you let them dry out significantly between waterings, they won't be really throwing a fuss, and honestly they will just bounce back the second you water them. Let me know if you have any drought tolerant plants that you would recommend, and I hope you will enjoy this video. Grab yourself a cozy little beverage and snack, and let's get started. First one on my list is the Aglaonema Cutlass. She is an absolutely stunning, beautiful plant. Now, if you've been on this channel for any amount of time, you will know that I love Aglaonemas. I think they are really beautiful plants that are super low maintenance. Like, you can put these guys literally in any corner of your house. It doesn't matter if it gets good light. It doesn't matter if there is like draft in that area. The humidity doesn't matter. Like, these are super resilient and adaptable plants. And on top of all of that, they are very drought tolerant. Like, I let this thing dry out more than I should, honestly. This lives downstairs on my night table beside my bed, and honestly my bedroom plants just get a lot of neglect because I don't spend a lot of time in my bedroom. Usually I just sleep in my bedroom. Most of my time is spent up here in my studio, so that's why the plants in my studio get a lot more attention than my plants in my bedroom. But that is exactly why I have this plant in the bedroom, because it is so resilient, and I know that this plant can survive in lower levels of light, and it can survive if I underwater her. And boy, oh boy, do I underwater her. I underwater her severely. And even though I tend to really neglect and underwater this plant, she has never really thrown a fuss. She would maybe lose 1 or 2 of the older leaves when I underwater her, like very badly. And she does also tend to get a little bit droopy when she is underwatered, but literally the second I water her, she just perks back up and looks stunning. Now, she is kind of growing a little bit weirdly just because she is kind of against the wall, but yeah, it's just such a stunning plant, and I absolutely love the foliage of this plant. Like, this just skinny, gorgeous, beautiful leaf. It's like silvery bluish with the cool markings. It's just such a beautiful plant, and I think Aglaonemas are so underrated. They are truly one of the easiest houseplants you can ever have in your collection, but they look literally just amazing. I think they look amazing, and I think this little plant just adds so much character and just greenery to any space. And I absolutely love her. Like, I could not imagine my collection without a Cutlass. This and the Silver Bay are definitely my top favorite Aglaonemas, and the Silver Bay is another one that can definitely tolerate drought periods, but I didn't want to include that one because I talk about that plant a lot. So I wanted to showcase a plant that I actually haven't showcased on this channel thus far, and it is my Cutlass, and she just deserves the spotlight because she is stunning. She is a stunning little diva. These are very accessible, very cheap. So yeah, I never had a pest problem on it. Now, the only problem is this is not a pet safe plant. I don't usually talk about like pet safe plants or if a plant is toxic or not, just because I don't own a pet. But somebody recently asked me in one of my videos if like an Aglaonema Silver Bay is pet safe, and unfortunately it's not. So these are toxic to pets, and I would assume that cats in particular would like this plant because it is kind of like bushy and elongated. So if you have a furry friend in your household, maybe just be a little bit careful, but honestly, she's worth it. She is so beautiful. Aglaonema Cutlass. Next up, I'm gonna be talking about succulents. So this is maybe a little bit of a cop-out because all succulents are drought tolerant. However, I wanted to just put a spotlight on a plant that has been really catching my eye lately, and that is my variegated bear paw. She is absolutely adorable. I think this is it's just such a cute plant. Like it's just cute. Like I don't have any other way to describe this plant other than just saying how cute she is. Mine lives under a grow light, and I will say that although these are drought tolerant and very, very easy care, they do require light. So these do need to be grown either under a grow light or receive at least a little bit of direct light, because otherwise they will turn pretty leggy and gross looking. I mean, that goes for most succulents. Like most succulents do need a good amount of light in order to keep their like nice bushy growth. But like this one is so cute. She's just so precious. And I don't tend to like pay attention to this plant, and I want to change that. And that's exactly why I want to include it in this video and why I want to just talk to you about this plant, because she deserves her 5 minutes of fame. So she is getting them because it's just such a beautiful plant. Now, of course, there is also the regular green bear paw, and I do have that one as well in my collection, but I really wanted to highlight the variegated one because I think it's just so cute and so special, and the variegation is just, it's such nice, like very, very creamy variegation. Like it's not completely white, and the variegation doesn't brown off, and it's just the shape of it. It's like fuzzy, it's cute, it's soft. Very, very, very drought tolerant. Like these are so super drought tolerant, just like any other cactus or succulent. However, I will say when you have a succulent or a cactus that you don't water often, the soil does become very, very hydrophobic. So what I would do for guys like this is I would actually like water them from the top and then leave them in a little bit of water just so they can really soak up the water, because otherwise the water will just go through all of the soil and it won't really stick to anything, and you won't be doing much good for your plants. So for succulents and cacti, don't water them often, but when you water them, give them a really good drink and just let them sit in that water for like an hour or two, just so they can really absorb that water. Because like I mentioned, usually cacti and succulents, because we do tend to let them dry out like completely between waterings, usually the soil does become pretty hydrophobic. So whenever I do water this guy, I definitely make sure to give it a good drink. But yeah, other than that, such an easy plant. It's not like the fastest grower in the world, but it is such a cute, easy, lovely plant. My plan with this plant for the upcoming season is to actually put it outside. I think it will look really cute on my balcony. And yeah, it's just such a cute plant. How many times can I say cute? Honestly, adorable, precious, just such a sweetheart. And these are, again, very widely available, very cheap. I think I got this specimen for like €5. Super affordable. But yeah, variegated bear paw succulent. Next up on my list is an Anthurium, and on the whole, Anthuriums do not like drying out. They like to be consistently moist, but Miss Clarinervium, oh my gosh, she looks so good. What are you talking about? Are you kidding me? Oh my god. She is, oh my god, I literally, I love this plant, y'all. I love this plant so much. And mine actually isn't looking like, I mean, on the viewfinder, she looks amazing, but she does have like a couple of spots. I think she had like either spider mites or flat mites. I don't know, but I think the issue is resolved now. But I mean, she is just, like, what can I say about this plant? She is beautiful, but she is also very drought tolerant. I treat this plant pretty much like a succulent, if I'm being honest. Like, I water it when the soil is bone dry, and she really doesn't seem to mind it. These have very thick leaves. They hold on to a lot of moisture. They aren't finicky. They don't require like high levels of humidity like some other Anthuriums. They don't drop their leaves. They keep on just growing. And I mean, you can tell mine is such a full, bushy specimen. I definitely had this for over a year. I'm not sure if I had it for more than that. I truly can't remember. And I recently repotted this somewhere in like December or something like that, and you can tell that she is already working on them roots. And as you can see, these roots are so chunky. They are proper udon noodles, and I think that is probably the reason why it's so drought tolerant, because these are not spindly thin roots. Like these are chonkers, okay? These are chunky roots, and I mean, she's just such a champion. This one lives on my Vitcho shelf under a mother light, and no complaints, no freaking complaints. The only issue I would say that I have with this plant is pests. Like I mentioned earlier, she did have some kind of like mite infestation, and she also did suffer from thrips during the summer. So that's literally my only issue with this plant. And honestly, this is such a resilient and like really thick-leaved plant that even if she does have like pests, she doesn't seem to really be bothered by them. I mean, you can clearly see the damage because it is like a velvety leaf, and obviously plants that have these velvety leaves do show more damage, but honestly, she still looks gorgeous. Like, come on. This is such a stunning plant. I can't, y'all. Y'all, if you don't have a Clarinervium, get yourself a Clarinervium. Like, even if you're not an Anthurium head, like this is just, to me, this is like the #1 Anthurium. Like, I don't care how many rare or expensive Anthuriums there are out there. This to me is the one you need in your collection. This to me is the staple. This to me is the icon, the legend, and I love her so much. So yeah. And if you're an underwater, I mean, this plant is perfect for you. Literally perfect. Anthurium Clarinervium. I love her so much. Good God. Stunning. Another genus that isn't really marketed as a drought-tolerant plant are Alocasias. However, I'm here to tell you that the Alocasia Platinum, she's good. She's good, y'all. She is very drought tolerant, and in general, one of the easiest, not only alocasias, but plants in my collection. Like, this plant requires nothing from me, and I mean these leaves. These leaves are literally everything. The silver blue color, like this is what dreams are made out of, okay? This is my favorite leaf color in a plant. I love when plants lean into that like bluish color. It just looks stunning. It looks absolutely stunning, and I'm pretty sure that we can all agree that these silver bluish plants are just, they are a work of art, okay? They are a work of art. And honestly, you would think that this plant was so difficult. And I received this plant probably like a year ago, and it was like a small plant. And look at her now. She is literally a beast. This thing does not drop leaves. This thing does not throw a fuss when you underwater it. You can definitely underwater this quite a lot and you won't like get any problems. It's not a spider mite magnet like some of my other alocasias. Like this, I don't think it ever had a pest. Like, it just, the leaves are immaculate. She is a constant grower. She holds onto her leaves for quite a long time. And it's just like, it's just such a beautiful plant. Now, I will say that this is not the only alocasia that I find pretty drought tolerant. Honorable mentions would go to my Alocasia dragon scale and the silver dragon. And this one is kind of in the same vein because it does have that kind of thick leaf, not as thick as the silver dragon or dragon scale, but it is kind of thick-ish. And I think that all of these like thicker leaved alocasias are a lot more hardy and really can take a beating. Now, I will say, obviously, because it is an alocasia, it's not without its problems. It does tend to get some like yellow edges, and you can actually see that I chopped off some from this leaf and some from over this leaf as well. You can just see that it has been chopped, but to me, that's like Not an issue at all. I obviously do not expect my plants to be perfect because honestly, plants don't even look perfect in their like natural grown environments because they are getting eaten, they are getting tossed around, they are getting beaten by the wind, storms. And even if you walk like through a botanical garden, you will see crispy leaves, you will see dying leaves, you will see pest infestations. So honestly, plants are just living things and no living thing is ever perfect. And that's why I just love this plant hobby, because it reminds me that things don't need to be perfect in order to be beautiful. They just relieve that weight off my shoulder to be perfect myself. And I mean, this plant is, to me, is perfect. I love her so much. And again, very resilient. You can forget to water this and she will be absolutely fine. So yes. Alocasia Platinum. So even if you are scared of alocasias, this is definitely one that I would highly recommend. And moving on to my last plant, and this genus is very known for being drought tolerant. It is Hoyas, and in particular, I want to highlight my gorgeous, my stunning, my beautiful Crimson Princess. Hoya Carnosa Crimson Princess, and I mean, her name fits. She is truly a princess. This is such a beautiful, stunning, gorgeous diva. I like look at her. She is so full, so bushy, and just delectable, delicious, divine. The leaves are so freaking cute. Now, honorable mentions to her sister, which is the Crimson Queen, but I wanted to include the Crimson Princess because I feel like the Crimson Queen gets a bit more love on social media, and this plant deserves just as much love. And she is literally so resilient. Now, Hoyas do have these like very succulent leaves, which does hold a lot of water, which means that they are very drought tolerant. But this one in particular is just so easy. Like, I water this whenever I remember. She lives under like a 10-watt grow light. She doesn't complain. She grows like a beast. Like, you can see her just tendriling everywhere. And she is just one of those plants that you can put on a shelf and literally just, it looks gorgeous. This plant can also definitely tolerate lower levels of light. However, since it is a Hoya, they do tend to like a lot of bright light, but I will say avoid putting it in direct sun. I actually made that mistake 2 summers ago. I put her outside in a sunny spot because I thought, oh, Hoyas love sun, they will love it. And she burned to a crisp. However, as you can see, we made a full comeback, and these do take some time to get established and to get growing, but once they do, oh baby boy, once they get growing, they are unstoppable, and they're stunning. They are absolutely beautiful. Another thing that I will say annoys me about this plant is that she hasn't yet bloomed for me, and she is like, come on, like this should be blooming size. And I do assume that that's because I'm not giving her like good enough lighting conditions. I presume that if I were to put her like in a really bright window, maybe she would bloom for me, but I just don't have space for that. But either way, I mean, I would love it if she bloomed for me, but I'm not here for the blooms. I'm here for the gorgeous, stunning, bushy, voluminous foliage. Like, she is just, such a beautiful plant. So Hoya Crimson Princess, get one. You will not regret it. And I mean, on the whole, all thick-leaved Hoyas are very drought tolerant, but I really just wanted to give her some kudos because she deserves them. Anyway, that is it from me for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please don't forget to hit that like button, and while you're down there, subscribe and hit that notification icon so you're notified about every single new video. Leave me a comment in the comment section below. Say hi, hello. I would love to talk to you. Let me know if you have any of these plants, which of these plants is your favorite, and if you have any other drought tolerant plants you would recommend. Until next time, I hope you have a super amazing, fabulous day, and goodbye. I mean, come on now. Come on, come on, come on.